Hey, it's Dan Jones, owner of Carolina Real Estate Experts again. The purpose of this video is just to do a question and answer session in regards to a lot of questions that we usually get, and I think that we would have if we were selling our house. So we want to go over a bunch of those with you, and stick with me. It's not going to be the shortest video in the world, but it will be beneficial if you stick through and watch the rest of this. The first video was the paperwork. Most of it's really self-explanatory. There's nothing tricky about it. The state keeps it pretty simple, pretty more towards the client friendly versus real estate agent friendly. So a few of the things that we get that I want to talk to you about first is our Coming Soon program. You probably discussed that with one of our listing partners, one of our listing specialists, or myself. This is a Coming Soon document. Comes in our seller packet. If you're not ready to put your home officially on the market, but will allow us to go ahead and put it out there to the world to see at least some pictures of the exterior. We'll get a lot of folks driving by, calling us about the property. We can send it out to several agents in the area, and we've got about 2,000 people on Facebook that follow us that we can send it out to as well. It's been a really powerful tool and something I would highly recommend, especially if you're 2-3 weeks away or even a month or so away from getting your home sold. You should also have your checklist of everything that we're going to do. I want to talk about the majority of these here and kind of what happens here, but this is your checklist. So that's our Coming Soon. The most important thing, though, in regards to just coming soon or going live, are your pictures. Okay, so some of the things you need to know about on the pictures. In general, from the moment we come out, a photographer comes out to take pictures, we need about 48-hour turnaround time to go live. Usually 2 business days, not take them Friday and going live Monday morning. That's a possibility, but in general we need 48-hour turnaround time. I know some folks need a week or 2 weeks. We cut it down to 48 hours. We have enough folks working on it to make it happen. But the pictures and kind of editing and photoshopping usually does take a little bit of time. So getting your home ready, you do have the 75-point checklist I mentioned in the last bit of paperwork to go by. But before the day or the day of photos, all your carpet needs to be vacuumed. That's one. Countertops in the kitchen need to be completely cleared off unless it's maybe something small decorative so people can see the countertop space. Bathrooms need to be clean. Glass in the showers need to be clean. Towels put away. Clothes under the bed sticking out. Kids' rooms, nice and neat, organized. Blinds open, lights on. So check all your blinds, or excuse me, all your light bulbs before, so we don't get to the house and we're missing 6 light bulbs and we're running around trying to buy light bulbs at the last minute. But you just want a clean house, presentable. We're going to try to shoot during the day where there's tons of daylight, so you get a lot more color. In general, that's about it on our pictures. You might have somebody, one of our photographers move a little bit of your furniture around or something along those lines, just for a better shot. But another common question that we have is just kind of on the idea of showings. Dan, Clay, Tatiana, Gwen, what's going to happen on my showings? So one of the things I like to say on showings is we obviously want to be as flexible as possible. If you have kids or unusual circumstances or work from home, we can always make it an appointment required. So you essentially have to give somebody the permission to come see the house. In general, that's the best way to do it. With that in mind, we like to give you guys as our sellers at least 1 hour notice. All right, if it's necessary to do 2-hour notice, perfect, that's okay as well. But we like to make it as easy as for folks to see the property as possible. With that in mind, 2 hours, more and more people are moving towards a 2-hour window to, hey, let me get the home ready, at least the lights on, clean up type deal. But that's totally up to you. Once it comes down to showing the house, most of the time people are requesting a day in advance, 2 days in advance. It's very rarely somebody's going to come knocking on your door and say, hey, can we see your house? All right, so don't worry about that so much, and if it does, you have the ability as a seller to say, hey, we're not ready, so we're not going to do that. So introduction to our team. You obviously have your listing specialist who's going to be working with you. We have Tatiana, who helps get all the paperwork organized, get your listing live, organizes with the photographer. Nadia does majority of our photos. Andy and Chris help out sometimes when she's not available. We have a few other folks that help out, but between the two, they're usually spot on with being able to get over to your house. Now, once you go under contract, Gwen handles our closing department. So you'll get an introduction call from her. Tatiana will introduce you to her as well. She's been with us for over 4 years now, knocking on the door at 5, and she's a rock star. So she'll give you a call. She'll set a conference call once we get a contract. All right, and she'll kind of go over what's going to happen next, in addition to your listing specialist helping you out also. So that is our closing department. Tatiana, you'll be in direct touch with, and obviously your listing specialist and your photographer as well. So one thing in regards to the paperwork, I want to make sure you need to let us know about as well are any fixtures that will not convey with the property. What I mean by that is something physically attached to the wall. All right. If there's a mount with the television, the television's yours, but the mount itself has to stay. If we're going to take it, we have to tell the buyers up front, and we have to patch the holes and paint as if nothing was there. Mounts are getting so inexpensive these days, it's easier just to leave the mount and go pay $40 versus trying to patch your holes, match it exactly right, and make sure the paint matches exactly. Most folks are doing that. But we do need to know if you do have any fixtures that are not going to stay with the property. In addition, some of the sheets that we talked about just a minute ago, this is a reminder, we need survey material if you have any of that, your covenants restrictions if you don't have a copy of that, your HOA will. You can request that from them. It costs us quite a bit of money to do that. Since you're a homeowner in the HOA, that's free. Septic permits, things along those lines. That'll help Tatiana get the listing process started. So once we go live on the property, we're going to send you some weekly, some monthly, some every 2 to 3 weeks on how many people are actually viewing the property online. That's really important in regards just to really how many people are looking online. We'll gauge on where we're at with price with how many showings. It's all relevant. So you'll receive those reports and you'll receive the same information that we do. So at the end of the day, you're not going in blind, and you might say, hey, we need a price reduction. We might say, no, we don't. We're right in line where we should be with the amount of showings, the amount of online traffic, but it costs us a lot of money to track those things, and that's what we do on a monthly, weekly basis from the different websites, including Realtor.com, Trulia, Zillow, Homes.com, your bigger websites. Okay, so I mentioned a moment ago, once you go under contract, you will have a conference call with Gwen. She'll walk you through the steps on what's going to happen in regards to inspections and all that fun stuff. And the next video is actually going to be from contract to actually close. So we'll talk about that here shortly as well. Now, your agent's probably already talked to you about it. I could have spoken to you about it. Tatiana could have spoken to you about it. But just in case you don't know or haven't bought a home in a while, you have due diligence and earnest money. Due diligence is an upfront fee that goes that goes directly to you as the seller. That's non-refundable. If the buyer proceeds with the house and closes, they will get that money back at closing, a credit for that money back. And then earnest money is if they go over a due diligence period, which is their inspection period, and they don't buy the house, we'll keep their money. You, the seller, will keep their money as well. Okay, those are the due diligence and earnest money. So a lot of people ask me, Dan, what do the closing costs look like? And the seller side doesn't have the big list like the buyer. The buyer has anywhere from 10, 12, depending on what sort of loan, maybe up to 13 or 14 itemized items, if not more sometimes. So you as a seller are going to have a handful. So you will have your attorney's cost, your attorney fees, depending if you're doing a mail away, if you're going to show up. But you're usually somewhere in the ballpark of $275 to $350. If it's mail away or you need power of attorney, you can possibly set that up and get hit with another $100 to $125 for something like that. Your HOA will have a transfer fee. As of January 2016, that transfer fee used to be paid by the buyer but is now paid by the seller. So you'll see that on your closing statement. Every HOA is different. I've seen $75 and I've seen up to $595. Basically, all they're doing is filling out information saying that you're leaving and someone else is coming in. I'm not crazy about that fee because they don't really do anything to charge you $300, $400, $500, $600, but it's a fee that HOAs should ask in regards to when they're hiring a new HOA company, but that's up to HOA management. So taxes, you will have to pay on your property if you're paying monthly into an escrow, depending on what time of year that you close. If the tax bill has been paid and it's been paid in full for the year, and you close at say September 15th, but your escrow has paid for the entire year, the buyer will actually pay you a credit at closing because you paid for the full year from September 15th until the end of the year, and you'll get that money as a credit on closing. If we're closing in the beginning of the year, let's say June 1st, and the tax bill is not ready, well, guess what? Who's going to pay that? Right? You have to pay that at closing. But you're going to tell me, Dan, I've been paying escrows all year. Why do I have to pay that? So once you close, those escrow dollars will be sent to you. They will be mailed. All right? But up until then, the escrow company is not going to send that money to the attorney. You will pay those dollars at closing. However, the escrow company, whoever your mortgager is, they will mail those back to you once the property closes, and they'll send those to you within 30 days. All right. Next is the commission. That is paid by the seller. That will be on your closing statement. A home warranty might or might not be on there. Some buyers ask for a home warranty, others don't. But those range anywhere from $450 to $650. They can cover a wide range of items on the property. But the last thing that will be on your closing statement are your deed stamps. Your deed stamps are taxes that are paid to the county. In Mecklenburg, for example, for every $1,000, it's $5. So as you go up in increments, you can get up to $300, $500, $700, $800 really quick. And that's something that a lot of agents and a lot of people miss, and they get to the closing statement, why am I paying an extra $1,000 that nobody talked about? Those are your potential 6. Some HOAs on the transfer fee are really low. Commissions, that's all generally paid by the seller. Attorney's cost, that can range. Taxes, depending on your mortgager, you might not pay taxes into escrow and you have to come out of pocket at closing regardless. Deed stamps, and then the home warranty. So hopefully that's helped. We're knocking on the door of, I think, 11 or 12 minutes here. So hopefully that's been beneficial, because I know these would be questions that I would have, and oftentimes we do get as listing specialists for the company. But look forward to seeing you in the next video, and thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.